for my project, I am doing a pregame pep talk as to why we should study global church history. So, our question today is, should we study global church history? And we have answers because we will study global church history. From our lecture, we saw that our faith is a historical faith. It's a faith that is rooted in history, a collection of stories of people and their relationship with God. We saw that because of scriptural interpretation, when we study global church history, we can see how different people have interpreted the Bible through different times. We saw that we should have gratitude because of what's happened throughout history and how God has preserved the scriptures for us and our community as followers of Jesus. And finally, we saw that by studying global Christian history, we can look at issues of today. And as we read through Rhea, we saw so many examples of why we should study global church history. We saw that we need each other, that we need community. And we saw that a study of historical Christians takes us out of our comfort zone of just our close circle and expands that zone so we might be connected with people over time. We saw that, yes, a personal relationship with God is foundational, but identity as Christians is also determined by other relationships. And when we study global historical global church history, we learn that some of our brothers and sisters can only be interacted with through reading their text, through studying what they learned. We can't call them up or talk to them because we must go back and interact with our brothers and sisters throughout time. We saw that people long for community, and the only way we can expand that community over time is by studying historical global church history. And finally, we saw in the reading that the Spirit is at work throughout centuries, and we can evaluate our interpretation versus interpretations over time, the way we interact with God with those that have interacted over time. Okay, before the game though, we got some quick hits. Studying global church history is going to help us avoid false teaching. It's going to help us in decision making. It's going to help us when we see persecution happen and we can see how people have dealt with it in the past. And it's going to help keep us accountable, that we're not just coming up with brand new ideas that haven't been rooted in history. Our task today is to study historical global church history. Let's get out and do it.